nice time to put this in and go on the fly. And with this channel and with this episode, you Pittsburgh people, I love you to death.
You know, that dude reminds me of somebody.
Bro, that's you. Should bring the pizza shop back?
That was me?
Yeah.
Oh, there's going to be some very bad decisions.
Inner circle time, bro.
It's about damn time. Roll the intro, the new one. I'm ready when you are. I don't know about you, but I'm ready when you are.
Open it up, man.
Were we ready to open this up?
Yes.
I wish I had. See, I know on my show, I wish I had like one of those big things that says bars closed, bars open. That's an old pun that I still do to this day, and but this is kind of a family thing. You guys are finally getting a chance to see. Do I need notes? I don't know if I need notes. We're here. It is the JJ podcast, and it is JJ on Low-K, or Low-K with JJ, and then there's this guy. There's this guy. Paul Campomizzi. It is a pleasure to have you. This is family right here. He's my one of my best cousins that I've ever had, and probably one of the more influential people that I've had in my life in the last 30 years. But so good to see you.
You too, man.
You look good.
Thank you.
Everything is fantastic.
I mean, dude, you look like you haven't changed a day.
I mean, I know you've kind of changed a little bit. Just a tad.
Just a little.
Since like the last 4 to 5 years. I know the pandemic's been rough, but I mean, what many people don't understand, I wanted to have you as the first. And as we are winging this on the phone with these new type of things here. I kind of hope they kind of work or something like that. Good thing for Amazon, by the way, Amazon. But in a long run, there's many people that wonder, all my travels, whether I was doing breaking or whether I was out doing other stuff with other people, I would bring my cousin's name up, Paul. And we'd always refer to him as Campy. And even in my old line of work, the other place, I've always talked about some of the experiences, not necessarily experiences, but all the adventures that you and I've had. As you've gotten older, we started doing more and more things because where we lived, there wasn't a lot to do. There wasn't a lot of places to go.
What did we have? What did we do? Play hockey at the tennis courts?
We did hockey at the tennis courts on and off. Sometimes football in your grandmother's backyard.
Yeah, holidays.
Back in the day.
Golfing.
What you were famous for, because you were, what class of Phillipsburg OCL?
01.
So you were 01. You had, in my personal opinion, you had a set of legends of people that I met during my time along with you. So before we get into that stuff, I mean, we're kind of winging it in a way because I know professionals will have the big, the big tablets and the nooks and whatever, and they'll have all their notes. I'm not Shannon Sharp, but this is the closest thing I'm gonna ever have.
Notepad works.
Notepad works, people. Notepad works, by the way.
Notepads work.
I'm going to go right to the point. I'm going to shut up for a minute because you are the guy. You are Campy. Paul Campomizzi, class of 01, a legend to many people in the Phillipsburg area. Not just because of your parents, but you yourself are your own brand. Who is Campy?
I can honestly tell you. Not a clue. This is Campy. That's who I am. I don't even know how I got the nickname, but I'll take it.
You'll take it.
I'll take it.
You've had many.
I've had many, yeah.
We all have nicknames in the past, but all sorts of different ones. But that's just what you grew up with.
That's true, yeah.
Ever
since junior high.
Junior high is
junior high, yeah.
My class gave me Jimmy Jam in junior high to senior high, but it's just not just because of the last name, but they knew you because you were a presence.
That's true.
You were bigger. I mean, you were. Let's not fool a whole heck of a lot of people because if you've never met this guy in person, you were a bigger guy. I mean, now and as we've grown older, we're obviously different people, but you had a presence. You were very big, if I recall. And you're going to have to spill some of this out to a little bit to the people
All
here.
right.
You're very big. I mean, it's not just because of the nickname and all that. You have a presence. You are sports related.
Mm-hmm.
You did do a lot of sports and a majority of sports. You
Yeah.
did a little bit of football.
I didn't do baseball or basketball. It was like football, hockey, soccer. What else we do? We did a lot of stuff.
I mean, you did a little bit
Golf,
of football.
golf.
You did a little bit of football, and then you had knee issues. And then you did, as you got older, you did a little bit more hockey for a bigger guy. You did very well for somebody your size. But you were also, let's just start something. Let's just start something real easy. You're a graphic designer. That was a lot of things that people don't know about you with all the nooks and stuff that you do.
I wanted to be a graphic designer.
But you were very good at some of the stuff that you did.
I was very good at it. Yep.
And it led to some of the things that you, like, it leads to some of the stuff that you did back when you were younger.
That's true. Art did have a big influence on me when I was back in junior high, high school. I was like, dude, let's do comics. Let's draw comics. Let's draw whatever came to my mind. And I'm still doing it.
And you still do it like just little pieces here and there. It doesn't have to be sitting in front of a laptop and everything like that. You just take a pen and draw.
Yeah, that's it.
And some people are that good at it.
Yeah. You
had, what was his name? Raker.
Raker. Yep.
I remember meeting him. He was
Mr.
cool
Raker,
dude.
Barry Raker.
He was a real cool dude. Real cool dude. And he was a huge influence.
He was like that is who I wanted to be after graduation. I wanted to go to art school. I wanted to be a designer or an art ed teacher, but didn't go that route.
No, things change all the time.
It's true.
I mean, we get thrown for a lot of things, but that doesn't mean we, don't evolve into something else, because sometimes we always say this thing that God has a plan for everybody, but you went from one thing to another, but no matter what, you're still the same person.
Right.
I remembered you as
you
that.
Me as a baby.
I remembered you as a baby. I held this kid. I held this guy in my arms, and look at him now. And now we're like two adults.
Yeah.
We don't know what the heck we're doing half the time.
Time flies.
Faster than normal as you get older. Don't ever forget that. It flies faster than normal as we get older. But I remember there was so much stuff that, and we're gonna try to, and I say this sometimes on the channel too, gonna burn through a lot of this before we get to some nook and cranny stuff.
You got it.
You did a lot of the graphic design. You still did a lot of stuff for family. You still did a lot of stuff. Your family's very deep, because my family, your family were very, very close. Then you had some issues on and off with, you had issues with the eye,
mm-hmm.
and it ended up being, now I don't know the exact words, but you can put this out if you want. You had to deal with that brain type of deal.
I had a brain tumor when I was 19. It was like that big.
And it made the eye sideways and all that stuff. Crushed
my nerves, but I recovered, and here I am.
Wasn't it twice?
Yeah, 2 surgeries.
Because it was the one time.
You remember I had a seizure on the ice?
That was the one I was telling you about. That was the one I was thinking about, because that one's the one that messed me up, because we were in the midst of a game. This is the true story.
Yeah.
We were in the middle of a game of you can say it's beer league or whatever it's called.
It's adult rec league.
Yeah, and at the playground, freaking Galactic Ice in Altoona, which I have not played, because I don't want to say bad things about it, because I wanted to play again, but all it would be freaking high school drama about getting playing time. That's what it is. But unfortunately, you had a seizure on the bench.
I did.
And that just threw me off, and then we had to drag you off. The game had to be shut down. You were in the bathroom. We had to get all your equipment off. Your parents came over. I had to get that, and you were gone. I had to drop your stuff off and find your car or find your stuff at Altoona Hospital.
Yeah.
And and I was like, "What happened?" And you were like, "It came back."
Yeah, I have no recollection. I remember 2 things that happened. One, I took a hard hit against the boards right in front of the bench, and then I sat on the bench and bam.
Wow.
That was it. I don't remember a thing. I remember waking up. I think I was in getting ready for a CAT scan, actually. So I remember
That
waking up.
that is, and of course we never wish that on anybody. But dude, that's some of the things that, I mean, we all say, hey, we're happy you got over that. You beat cancer twice, a brain tumor, whatever it is, or whatnot. The scar's still there.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's now officially, because now you don't have to worry about the hair. The hair was one of the bigger parts, but now you don't worry about it because you're nice and clean now.
Nice and clean.
But
That's how I do it.
It's how it is. It's a you show that off of the chicks or whatever you call it. I don't know.
Dude, I'm married.
I know. It worked though, didn't it?
That's true.
It did work.
Yeah,
It did work. Okay, so it kind of worked on that though. But in the essence, I mean, still a hockey guy.
Yeah.
Penguins fan.
Absolutely.
So
and
are
Buffalo.
fans. You like Buffalo as well.
Yep.
And I'll tell you what, we could talk about the hockey games and all that stuff like that. We've gone to a couple Penguin games back in the day.
The night game. The night game outside.
And we can sit there. We can say we went to that game. We tailgated in that element. I thought that element was going to be able to work that grill.
Yeah. Didn't work.
But that didn't work.
Yeah. Good try. It was a good try.
It was a good try. We made a lot of friends that day.
We sure did. That was one of the best events ever.
10,000 your best friends.
It's great.
I mean,
I still have the wallpaper for my computer.
I did a long time ago too. I almost had it. I was able to like circle like where we were, even though it was like really, really blurry. One of the things I want to get at is basically because when I started this podcast, I said this on the channel. He's going to be veering in and out, but that's all right. He's going to be. It shows human interest.
That's right. He does his own thing.
It does his own
what
thing.
he wants.
In a way of speaking, do you remember on a Facebook before you left, because you don't have it now? Remember we were saying, like, we were discussing possibly you and I having our own.
I do, yeah.
That was going to be the surprise, and a guy named Mike Segis, who's one of his classmates.
Yeah.
He kept messaging like, "What is it? What is it? What is it?" And we kept holding it off. And then a bunch of stuff happened, and we never got it. And that's one of my episodes that you want to check out. But that was our intent.
Yeah.
So, so basically, fast forward, long story short, he moved on, got married, has a beautiful 3-year-old daughter. The pandemic went through. You changed professions, and I left the other place, changed professions. Pandemic hit, and we never got a chance. You live out here, just outside of State College in Pleasant Gap, and I'm out in Hollidaysburg, but. And I don't want to sit here and say I kind of wanted to take the reins because I kind of wanted to get it done. I wanted to, because I had not necessarily saying I had nothing else major going on, because after 20 years and after people just messing with all that stuff, I kind of wanted to finally get into it, and so I got into the thing of talking with the break crew that I had, Jason and Mike, and we all put together the idea of, Mike will keep an eyes on my scheduling stuff, and Jay will do my editing. I'll do whatever ideas and do the actual work and whatever, and I'll do some editing when I get the opportunity. But and so far, 5 months later, I'm not doing too bad for a newbie.
Here he is.
So, long story short, now the kicker is, I think now we can finally get you. Whenever you get the opportunity, we get you on and off. Not necessarily do I want to zoom over the mountain.
Yeah.
And
that big poof.
And that big little poof there.
Yep.
And do one every now and then. But we can have you online and have you doing a lot of these. And I'll start with some of the old crazy things that we used to do. If you're wondering why half the things that we always talk about and all things. It's kind of like story time, but it's adventure time.
Yep.
When we got older, we started doing different stuff, and it wasn't necessarily just doing some of the stuff with the clubs. You weren't a big dancer, but you were pretty much but you were a presence. But like I said before, you were a presence.
I was the support.
You was the support. Yeah. You were a presence, and you had your own crew.
Yeah, that's true.
But it wasn't necessarily totally involving me. It's just because I was just a cousin.
Right. You
had a handful of people in your class and in your area, and I can name names. It was a guy named Andrew Bodon. It was Mike.
Andrew Lucas. Nickname was Bodon.
His nickname is Bodon. but is Andrew Lucas. Hopefully we have him on the show sometime. Mike Sagis. We had a guy named Richie. We had a guy named Bodon, or I did Bodon before.
AJ.
We had AJ.
We had Chuck.
We had AJ and Chuck and Robbie and Bob.
Bob, yep.
And we had a whole bunch of different guys, a couple girls on and off that lived in your area.
Yep.
That
they kind of like just hung out with us.
That pretty much, and it ended up being, it almost like became a little bit of a family. Not necessarily a family of people, but we'd have game nights.
Yep.
We would go to the movies. We would go to the club.
We would.
The game nights were big because we would
rotate.
It would be my place. Hardcore. It would be your place. Yeah. It would be maybe Tom's place or whomever.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. And we had everything. We had everything from the Great Monopoly to Clue to Trivial Pursuit.
And we were competitive. It was hardcore.
And I always remember I said that in the Gen Z episode, like Monopoly has destroyed friendships and families for over decades.
And those games would go on from 1 week to the next 3 weeks we'd be playing Monopoly because we didn't have a winner. It was just a continuous game. And then we had
they would always be competitive. We had to have teams and then the deals, and that's what ticks everybody off.
Real money came out. Real stuff came out.
Oh,
yeah. And then it got really, really.
And that there's nothing like it. There's nothing like. And if you guys still have good game nights every now and then, throw a comment in because there's still families that do that now.
That's true.
I wouldn't say that they do it now because, well, it's not that they don't have anything else to do. They have to have something to do. They are married, kids, or whatever, and bring
stuff
and bring people over like that. But those nights morphed into pretty much, getaway trips. The beach. We went to the beach. Yep. We've had trips to Florida. We've had trips to Ocean City.
Dewey, Rehoboth.
Rehoboth. We made some Pittsburgh trips on and off. Yep. They were all epic, and they were all, no matter what we say, kind of have to keep this a PG-rated show here.
Yeah.
But they were fun. We've gone to different places like the Purple Moose. Secrets is big if you never know. Yep. But Shenanigans, people went there. We went there a couple times. 2 a.m. for cheap pizza. Riding the freaking bus back to the Princess Hotel or whatever
Princess by the Bayside.
Princess by the Bayside. Wow. I wonder if that name's still up there.
Still there.
It's still there. Yep. And then is that the one that's next to Secrets? No, we were just in those. We were just in those condos.
Yeah. They're just the condos. It's not far from Secrets, but it's not right next to it.
Unscrew the doors to make your own beer pong table.
Legit.
Improvise, people.
Legit.
But those were amazing.
Yeah.
When you're young and you're out there and you save a couple bucks, hey, put your couple bucks, we're going to put it in there and make a road trip. Boom, we're out of here.
Mm-hmm.
But those morph into the times where you did the evolution known as Campus Palooza.
That is true. Campus Palooza was born through those beach trips. And some of the best house parties I've ever been to. We don't want to talk majorly crazy stuff, but if you don't know the collaborations that this guy has in his head, the innovation and the inspiration was mostly from those trips. Yeah.
But especially not necessarily word to mouth, getting it over and going to your house and a big 80s party and people parking in that back dirt road like I did.
Back in the alley.
And it led to insanity. It led into board game night. It led into pool parties. It led to stuff that we're not allowed to talk about in this channel. But I will say this, though. One of those things that we did is your innovation. It was you, Tom, and Mike at Tom's house and created this game called Pong Ball.
Bodon was there, too.
And Bodon was there, too.
Don't forget Bodon.
And when we talk about having the podcast stuff, the thing is about is whoever you're with or whatever expressing ideas and putting them out there to the world. You were able to get, didn't you? This game we did, and you put out to many people in the area,
Oh yeah.
was so big. Didn't you get one of the representatives to get it patented?
Well, that was voted on, but yeah, we did.
So Andrew did that. Andrew, he did that. He wanted to get. Was it Conklin?
It was. I don't think it was patent. I think it was trademarked, and I don't know. He went through.
So I don't need to be barking about this because this is kind of you guys' invention, and you got me into it. Your take, your description. I don't have a $9,000 setup. What is pong ball?
Pong ball is very simple. It just takes elements out of each sport and combine them into one game. So we had 2 paddles and just a bouncing ball. We set up an octagon-ish type arena. 2 goals in the back. We drew our lines. You got center. You got your crease. What else do we have? The laundry baskets for goals. You had
this
to
is
have
makeshift.
Yeah, it was very makeshift. You had to have an entrance, your theme. You had to have an entrance name, and if you didn't, your opponent would make one up for you. Man, what else? I mean, you had to play basically on your crouch down or on your knees. So basically, you just defended your goal and try to score a goal on the other guy.
We're basically talking your dinette picnic tables that you put up for your family.
Yep, the 8-footers.
And makeshift goals, which were laundry baskets. You're just grabbing electrical tape, putting in the middle.
Yeah.
A little bit of a boundary danger zone type of thing.
The danger zone.
Yeah, you couldn't cross. You couldn't cross that. And the paddles were like not necessarily pickleball paddles.
No, they were like a cellophane plastic.
It was the beach ball paddles.
That's what they were. Beach ball paddles.
It was the
that's
beach.
What they were,
it was the stuff you use on the beach.
Yep.
That's exactly what they were. And you could save it. You can grab it. You can save it, but you have to play it. You either have to drop it and play it. You couldn't just hold on to it. Because I knew a couple people, including a couple of girls, would just hold on to it and just absolutely whack it and try to get it in the goal, and you just have to suck it up and take it. I believe
that's who our first champion. She did that, and that's how she became the first champion. Do you remember who the first champion was?
One of your exes.
Yes, it was.
Unfortunately, yes.
Yep. Yeah,
I mean, in a way, I have to almost I don't want to take her side of it because all she would do, she would grab it, and it was just the biggest wind-up I've ever seen. It was like legit. A Tim Tebow throw. Yeah. He is the longest wind-up to throw. That was the longest wind-up to whack. When I won my first title, I didn't even celebrate.
I remember.
Because I was just destroyed.
You were exhausted.
Taking every single shot from her.
You are exhausted after each game.
And then the final game was, when the game was over, everyone just collapsed everything on the ground.
Yep, and passed out.
And, and at one time, we had toy WWE titles, and that was our championship. And I had a couple. You had a humanitarian one.
Yeah.
And
I never won a championship. I've been to the most finals out of every player, but never won a gold.
That's just, and then...
I'm okay with it.
And then, you're one of the creators.
That's right.
And I remember the one time we tried to give you a humanitarian one, and then you lost in a semifinal, and then I had to face Ridgie in the final, and I actually beat him. Yep. He's disgusted, and here I am holding like Triple H holding both titles.
I remember.
And then I was like, we're not doing this anymore. And then we did another one at your place, and Andrew wins them both.
Yep.
I just been beat to heck.
And
Andrew has the original title too. He has the original one. So
we did it at my place. Outdoors in the middle of July. It had to be 100, at least
right outside the pool.
Outside, right? Yeah. Thank God the pool was there.
Oh man! And your neighbor Stacy also played in that game. I think.
Yep.
Because we needed people, but that was just. That almost is an in-depth game. I mean, it's just we can make that after one episode, but boy, that just shows innovation about all the certain stuff that we did, and a
lot of good ideas.
Oh, crazy ideas.
What's going on, guys? Future JJ here. Hope you enjoyed part 1 of our podcast episode with JJ and Campy. This is coming up will be part 2. Hope you guys enjoy. It's coming up soon. Until then, remember to like and subscribe if you still enjoy all the content we do on this channel. Catch you guys later.